Hey everyone, today I am going to show you one of my first sessions with Laelynn. She is the 20-year-old quarter horse that I took in that was basically sort of left out in a field, and she's severely underweight and very timid of people. So we've been working on basically just feeding her, and at this point this is the first actual training session with her. The only work that she has had done with her up to this point is I did one join up session in the ring that took me an hour to get her to catch me. And then she has also been getting fed during our summer camp. And she's been living in a small pen, so that way we could give her grain and that she'd be separated from the other horses. So this is the first join up session since then. So at this point, we've had her for just a couple of days. And what I'm going to do is basically take the pressure off of her when she's thinking about coming to me. And if she's not thinking about coming to me, then I'm going to sort of walk towards her head. And when I say take the pressure off, I'm basically turning away from her or taking my belly button off of her and trying to reward her or show her that she can sort of stop me if she chooses to sort of think about coming with me. So there you can see she's catching on to the idea pretty good. And this is great because the last time it took a very long time to accomplish this. So she's catching on a lot faster, but she's still not reaching out to connect with me. So I'm not going to actually touch her or do anything with her until she can reach out and connect with me or do what's called a horseman's handshake in Pirelli terms. The horse reaches out and touches me. So there's a nice touch there. Reaching out, still looking away. You can see she's a little bit disconnected still. So I'm offering for her to come in, and that's nice, so she's following me. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm showing her that if she offers to come in and touch, that I'm not going to, go rub on her face or throw a rope over her. The first thing I want to do is show her that I can take that pressure away. So I'm rewarding her for reaching out rather than what a lot of us are tempted to do, which is when the horse reaches out to touch us like that, we want to step in and go, hey, now I've got you. So we want to be careful that we don't do that. So I do have a cookie pouch here, and I'm showing off her cookie. And you can see she's, not super quick to grab the cookie, and I'm mostly doing that for your benefit there, so that way you can see that she's, quite shy there. And really when a horse is in this stage, it's not about food at all. It's about feeling safe and wanting to feel calm. Cookies are best used for motivation to ask a horse if they need a little bit more sort of what's in it for me. This horse isn't really interested in what's in it for me. She's interested in feeling safe and feeling comfortable. And she's doing really fantastic here. This is really nice. And as we're doing this, I want you to notice how she's keeping me on her left eye. And that's not uncommon, and it's actually because most people tend to do everything from the left. When I get horses that are from scratch, I don't find really any difference between right or left, and I like my horses to be balanced, to be able to do things from both sides. And you can see even there I tried to go off on the right side of her, and she put herself so that way her left eye would be on me. And a lot of horses can tend to have a lot of discomfort when you go on the right side, but it's not because they can't have you there or that you have to always stay on the left. It's just because we put that in there by doing everything from the left. So I always encourage people to do things from both sides and be very careful to stay out of that transition of doing everything from the left because it creates an imbalance in your horse. Think about it, when you ride, you're going to be in the center of your horse and they're going to have to see you out of both eyes. So you can set them up from the ground to do everything from both sides. So you can see she's not super connected. She's looking away. Here I come up on the right side of her. And she's not too sure about that, so she decides to leave. Not leaving super fast though, so that's okay. So then I'm going to see if I can get her back. I don't want to make a big deal about it when they go to leave. But you can see how uncomfortable she is with me on her right side. She's trotting away there, bending the wrong way. And then I'm just sort of looking at her hip a little bit. And then as she starts to think to come to me, I just back all that pressure off. She's a little bit distracted looking around at the other horses. That's okay. So I'm coming around again. And then she blocks me there. So you can see how she put her left eye on me. And then that's when she felt like she could come forwards a little bit. So when she looks away, I just sort of walk towards a hip. It doesn't really matter to me which hip I go to. And then when she starts to catch me, then I allow her to stop me in my tracks. So when she's looking at me or looking interested in me, I don't want to advance on her and get predator-like and want to come at her. Instead, I take the pressure away and move off of her. So I'm trying to build her trust, build a level of confidence that she can come with me and stay with me. So here I'm just checking and moving away, looking at her hip. And then I'm on her right side of her there, and you can see she kind of went, oh no, not on my right side, and she sort of stopped and put her head so that way she would be on her left side again. So this is definitely where she's most comfortable, is with me on the left. And that's something that I'm definitely going to address and work on. And right now I'm just doing a lot of being soft with her. I'm not trying to be sneaky and timid about touching her, but I'm just trying to be smooth and rhythmic and moving around. Sometimes if we tippy-toe around horses, we can actually make them more skittish. So there, that's interesting, right? So that's the second time that I can come around her hind end, but as soon as I got to her shoulder, that's when it was too much pressure and she had to go away. So I'm getting her back again. The same type of idea. So I'm right now sort of looking for her to think about coming to me, and then that's when I'll take a step away or take my belly button off. And if she's not, then just sort of zigzagging my way. As soon as she steps forward, that's when I step away. And sometimes going on a straight line can be hard for horses, so if you step off to the side, that usually works better. So I'm offering for her to Horseman's handshake and touch my hand. There we go. And instead of reaching out more in front of her, I stepped back away from her to cause her to want to touch me and connect rather than going forward into her space where I know she's already sort of claustrophobic. Well, most horses are claustrophobic, but I know she's already more sensitive to that idea. So I was being aware of that and stepping away from her instead. So this side is pretty good. She's pretty quick to connect there and touch. She likes me on this side. I can rub her on this side. We'll do one more check-in. No, she doesn't even want to think about letting me on that side there. So I don't want to create a habit of trying to go on that side and repeatedly having her walk away. And I could keep working with this at liberty, but we want to be realistic for the time that we have to offer and set things up for success. So instead of keeping going with that and having her leave, what I'm going to do is put the rope halter on her so I can just ask her to stay and then see if we can do a little bit of work from both sides. So I'm going to be very friendly about the halter. So I'm just doing lots of rubbing first to make sure that she's okay with that. She stepped away, so then I'm stepping away to draw her back to me. So I don't want to sort of jump out over her with the rope halter and sort of catch her that way. I want to make sure that she's drawn to me. I offered the rope there to show it to her. She wasn't interested, so I'm just putting it over her neck, nice and loose. Rubbing her with that. Trying to be very fluid. Here I'm asking her to soften her neck a little bit towards me as I go to put this on. And not trying to be sneaky at all. So I'm not trying to do it really quickly, but I'm also not doing it so slowly that it looks sneaky in the process. And this is nice because she's bent around me. Her head is still up in the air, but at least she's shaping around me. And there's a lot of tension in this horse. There's a lot of brace in this horse. There I gave her a little cookie, mainly because I'm just trying to show both you and her what happens when you use cookies. And you can see it didn't take any of the tension out of her. And this typically wouldn't be a scenario where I would use cookies. I would just use bend and relaxation. So now you can see I'm on the right side of her body, and all I did was ask her to come around and bend. And I show you the cookie doesn't do a whole lot. See, she's still really tense. So it's not about the treat. So I'm just trying to stay on that side. And look how panicked she got there. So that's just me being on that side, and that's how much tension there is there. So I just try to politely stay on that side of her body. I'm going to try to help her find some relaxation. So I'm just waiting with her. You can see how stiff she is in her neck, how stiff she is in her body. So I'm just rubbing her rib cage there a little bit, trying to encourage her to breathe and sort of stretch through the ribs, and waiting for her to just soften just even an ounce. So that way I can release, and we're trying to breathe together there and just try to let her get a little bit softer. So she's very, very stiff, very unsure about me being on that side of her. So I'm just trying to wait it out with her and show her that it's okay. So there she softened a little bit. Alright, staying on that side, see if we get a little bit more. There, that's a little bit better. You can see she brought her nose in a little bit more. So I'm not really pulling hard on that rope or anything like that. I'm mostly trying to shape her by means of rubbing on her ribs area and sort of pushing her rib zone out a little bit, and then causing the nose to come to me, and then just using the rope for a little bit of support there to help her be successful. Because I want her to figure this out. I want her to do well, and I'm also realistic for the time that I have to spend with her. And this entire session that you're watching is pretty much in real time, so it's at just over 11 minutes, and I think I only had 20 minutes to work with her. So I'm going to stay with her on this side. So when she moves, I'm just going to stay with her and stay with her. And I'm trying to leave my hand in roughly the same spot, which you can see is upsetting her. So instead of trying to intimidate her and just, scare her into being still, I'm just following her very softly and trying to let my body language go, but still trying to stay on that side, trying to show her I'm not chasing after you, but I'm going to stay on that side. But the hand there was a little bit too much. And then now I'm removing the pressure to take it away, and then we're going to continue to work on that side. So then I'm starting over again, rubbing on that side. So what I'm going to do is jump forward to the end of our 20-minute session, which is really just jumping forward about 8 minutes. So here we go, we'll just jump forward. And so this is bending on the left side, and she's nice and bent. So really what I wanted to focus on for this session was getting her to connect with me and come with me, and then asking her to bend, because I'm trying to help her be relaxed. So this is really nice on this side. She's keeping her ears level, which is a key thing that we're looking for when they're bending. Shows that they're bending sort of properly and turning loose to that idea. And then I'll show you a little bit on the other side afterwards. So we're switching sides here. So she still brought her head up a little bit, still some tension there. You can take the rope over her head now, which is great. Still a lot more tension. You can see how the head came straight up. She's a lot more on alert with me on this side. And this is a very short session. I'm just trying to show her that I really genuinely care about helping her feel good, helping her feel relaxed. So you can see the rope is very soft, and I'm just rubbing her rib cage there. The rope isn't pulling firmly at all, and so she's come around, her ears are still level. Definitely still some brace in there. That's a little bit better. She's not bending at all the same to the right as she was to the left. So there's still going to be a lot of work to do here, but that's a lot better. Very nice there, coming around. And I'm just trying to rub her, show her that the goal here is just to feel good, take some of that tension out, because I want her to look forward to the next session. And so that's it. So that's 20 minutes working on bend and relaxation. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.